We will call the Newton County Commissioner meeting for November 5th, 2025, in session with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of minutes for 9/17/2025.
Second.
Motion from Steve, second from Rob. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Approval of payroll longevity for 10/24/2025 and 11/7/2025.
Second that.
Motion from Steve and a second from Rob. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We have credit card, please. I don't have any. So if I give you a folder. It's payroll.
How turn it on?
So the light is green on the bottom.
Sorry, that's.
It's on.
Okay. It's here because we have the card. Yep. Approval of claims for 11/5/2025.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion from Robin, a second from Steve. Was there any, from our discussion part, was there anything in here that we needed to address in the claims? Not the first one.
I don't think so. Well,
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Yeah.
Aye. And then credit card claim for 11/5/2025 in the amount of $4,398.78. 4398.78. Motion,
I'll second that.
motion from Steve, second from Rob. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now, early on the farm, that is that.
yeah, you have to wait.
Okay. We can jump down to building plan, zone and PUD.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We had a plan meeting last week, the first was Chrissy Fox and Michelle Paradis. They're going from a B1 zoning change to an R1 zoning change. The R1 fits the criteria of the area. It's actually going to be eliminating a vacant lot that has a vacant, dilapidated structure. They're going to be probably building a new house on that property.
And that claim is favorable.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion from Robin, second from Steve to approve the change of the use from B1 to R1. All those in favor say aye. Thanks.
And on the same meeting last week, we had a revision for a PUD for the motorplex, US 41 driveway motorplex with an unfavorable position as far as a recommendation to change the days and the times and how it's operation. So we're gonna leave the PUD as is right now until they come forth with a plan to alleviate the issues that the neighboring, basically neighboring properties have of noise control and people control.
So this letter was what they were proposing.
Correct.
Okay. And then I do have a question. Do they still have to come in front? Do they still have to fill something out with all of you when they do like the special events? and
They
stuff?
do, so they're supposed to show up 30 days beforehand to my department and give me it's basically an informational packet of what kind of event they're hosting. What times and dates they're posting this at, and I haven't seen anything this year at all from them. They were made aware of it at the last meeting that they're supposed to move forward company with that.
Yeah, because I knew in the past, I thought there was something with EMA, they were supposed to have something filled out That could have been before you too, not sure, but I know that that was after them. So I just didn't know if that was still something that was gonna follow. Then, do we still have to make a motion to approve the, favor of it? Deny the document.
A second that.
Motion from Steve, second from Rob, all those in favor? Aye. Anything else for us?
Nope, that's it.
Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you.
Right,
Yeah, but it should be.
Good morning.
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 So after our last meeting, so after our last meeting, and what I've given you is this is actually came out from Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs, so some things are put in concrete now, such as the conference, the accreditation training. So this is in concrete now, and you can see it where it actually alludes to the Senate Bill 433. So it's going to be a 4-day training from June 15th to June 18th. This is required. It'll be at the Johnson County Armory, which is it's just south of 65, south of Indy. And then it gives you some more details and things like that. So so there will be a cost increase there on the budget as far as the accreditation. Some of the other things are still up in the air. And of course, with the government being shut down, IDVA's waiting for direction from the VA. A lot of those administrative people are on furlough. Also, just let you know that I've had several veterans who are currently like full-time National Guards that have reached out to me because they're furloughed and they haven't been paid for a month. So we're working with the Jasper Newton County Foundation and then some of the other foundations to try to help them get some, some bills paid. Hopefully utility companies would use some common sense because these guys are working, there'd be something getting paid. So just to let you guys know that that's going on out there too, so.
And I apologize if I missed something, but are we still working on trying to get everything focused in on the job description so we can get that advertised? Because we have to get that as a council.
I think it's done, but we're waiting for it to go in front of
In
council.
front of council, okay, so then do you suggest we get this scanned in with the one as well, or just?
We kind of already alluded to it on the
Okay.
job. I wouldn't leave it like that. I would just kind of don't rabbit hole it, so to speak, because, and then when someone comes in, I can, whoever is replacing me, I can, bring them up to speed, what's gonna be done. And there's a lot of things. I know the trip training will still be there, but as far as some of the, like they were gonna have bi-monthly meetings. And some of those things that has changed. I know the district officer from the IDVA will probably be coming to a commissioners or a council meeting. Just try to kind of keep you guys up to speed on what's going on too, because this all has to be. They're wanting everyone accredited by end of June. So we're giving people 6 months to get all this stuff done. So they would suggest, they're suggesting that my credentials, they're not gonna turn off my credentials until into January, just in case someone comes in. And I still have access to that stuff and they don't. So,
Anything else?
no, that's something I have. I just want to try to bring you guys up, keep you guys up to speed and bring you up to speed on some things. So then you think, because I have people been asking me, have any idea when this position will be posted in?
So we have to take it in front of council, which hopefully that'll be the next meeting then. And then they just have to approve the job description, the updated everything, and then we can get that out for advertising. I know, because I've got a few ask as well. so.
Right, yeah, cause anyone that talks to me, I'm sending them straight to you, and I've actually told probably 2 or 3 people. Would you come in and sit down with me for about an hour, hour and a half, because just to give them an idea, because there's no way in that job description you can really tell everything that's going on and stuff like that,
Right,
and what all it entails.
all right,
All right,
appreciate it, Greg.
all right, thank you, you guys have a great day.
Oh, by 3 minutes, but I don't know if anybody, yeah.
Jim?
The only thing I get that is next week, we're gonna be bringing, I brought in the CAD, project. I brought them back in to close off with some loose items that have been pending for a little while and. Brought them in for 3 days next week, so the CAD should be fully operational next week. It's deployed right now, but it's fixing a lot of the bugs we have out there right now, so. Other than that, I think everything's going good.
There will be questions after.
Sure.
It's just nice to hear it. It's Mike?
Yeah, the only thing I have is, economic development is going to some, focusing, working on some marketing efforts for the county. Starting in 2026, so I'm keeping you in a loop, obviously, make sure we're all on the same strategy, but I'm putting out some feelers, some companies that can help us with that, so. Just want to let you know about that. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Matt?
I gave you that after action report from that incident last week at Curtis Creek Dairy. Went off, pretty good. There's definitely some areas for improvement there and stuff. But all in all, no injuries and, no loss of life and, our main goal is basically to keep everybody safe and the surrounding areas as well, so. Just created my after action report, for anybody to look at if they want to, but we also have a meeting with. The dairy. Thursday at 6 o'clock, they requested to also have an after action report done for that column stuff, so. I'll probably have more from them, after that meeting with everybody and stuff, so. As far as, radio project goes, we've been doing a lot of testing. We completed all the outdoor testing, which went very well. Very happy with the coverage that we've gotten. Yesterday, me and Jim went out, did some indoor testing. That was half and half. Did have some coverage issues inside buildings, like Township being one of them. Brook Fire Department being one of them. Down here, we had 0 coverage, and then over at the jail, there was 0 coverage and stuff, so. J&K is coming out tomorrow, and I hope to address those issues with them. Because in their contract, they do have to meet certain requirements for, as far as loss of signal in buildings and stuff, so. Got to get with them on that, and then I was hoping Terry would have been here, he was supposed to be here, but, with the radio project and stuff, with the internet. Surf Internet isn't really providing what they were going to for the county, I guess. And Michael Mark's been in contact with them and everything. So because we're losing signal with them so much, they're requesting to utilize a microwave system for our internet. We've gotten 3 bids, not bids, but quotes back from 3 different vendors. And they're on the spectrum of really high and pretty favorable and stuff, but we're gonna check with you guys. I know we do have some funds in ARPA, but we would have to get a meeting together with the ARPA committee. And kind of discuss that, but also if that wasn't an option to bring forth to go to council, they ask for additional money for that project and stuff.
Well, you have funds still sitting in ARPA.
Yes. It can be tied into either CAD or the building project. But again, we would have to have a ARPA committee meeting to make sure that's okay with everybody. To do that and make sure we're within our scopes of being able to transfer that money and stuff. We just can't create any new projects out of that and stuff, so. Be a good discussion for the committee to get together and discuss that and stuff, but. As a resort, also, we would probably have to, if that doesn't go through, that's council for additional funds.
So maybe then I can ask you is, because Michael Mark did reach out about that issue, so the initial that we paid for was Starlink. Can we still get that canceled since that's not gonna work out, or?
That, yeah, I'd have to get with Michael or Kyle, on that stuff.
I'm sure there's a window, so I just wanna make sure that that gets taken care of first and foremost, if that's not gonna pan out, then we'll
Right.
get that taken care of.
Right.
That was.
Cause we've paid for the installation, cause that was like $1,100 per site. And then we had partial payments through September, and then it was $195 for October for the 3. Those have all been in.
Yeah, so if we can. So that's where I just want us to. Keep that. At the top of the priority list, like to get that taken care of, just so we're not continuing getting that.
Right.
And paying for that.
Starlink was gonna be, Starlink was, not correct me if I'm wrong, Starlink was gonna be our backup. To serve, right, and then both of those, so now we're going to microwave.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
Right, so do you have an ARPA meeting set up?
Not yet, we got,
Cause I kind of feel those funds need to come out of that, clean up the ARPA and not. Not do the council. That's my opinion, but. I think that's what I'm saying.
but we would just have to, just like with other ARPA view, we just have to have like a solid number of what,
Yeah.
how much we have for
Yeah.
audits and everything like that.
Yeah.
I don't foresee that being.
and I got 2 here, is there any day this week that works good work for you guys?
It came in, so.
If we can be touch, but if it has to, well, then I just. I'll keep in touch. But yes.
Okay.
And anything that's.
Why don't we try this
Sounds good.
USB?
Awesome.
Pull that
Thanks,
out.
Tab.
Try this out.
Thank you.
This.
Now we can do.
Yes.
You need me to do anything with this?
That was just the notice that we went out, so that's what it, just so you guys could see, and we only have one farm bid.
Okay, so for the farm bid. For our 8:45. Appointment. I have it. I got it. I got a paper cut of this. Okay, see how easy out of your Austin. You can do that. Okay, so we have the. Here's. And this is, the bidder is Craig Sands. Do we know, this is pretty much all this is what we require, correct? Yes. Yeah, I'll keep it all together. And be just done for years, so, yes. No.
And I think it says you guys have the right, I sent a few. On the bottom, it says, I think you guys have the right. It just said they received a bid. Craig, do you remember what your bid was last year? Same amount. And it has gone up because we've had other people bid against that last few years since.
Yeah, well, those, yeah, that's highway, that's what you. I think we have to bid. Pushing, I don't.
Where do you want to offer someone higher than this for direct bid?
Well, what are we gonna do if he rejects it?
We have to get rebid.
Well, then rebid it then.
Okay. Okay.
Why would I volunteer more than, you need a minimum if you want a minimum, then.
Well, that's not, no, you don't have to have a minimum. It's a bid, you put your bid in, and
Yeah, but we have the chance to raise the bid, or always have.
Yeah.
And no one's. So what do you want then? I guess that is what I'm asking.
250, 300.
I think that'd be fair.
It'd be fair to everybody.
I'm going off of the finance issues, but how do we then, since it's a bid? Can you run down, looking to you out,
You rejected, you gotta rebid it.
what if the gentleman agrees to what they're suggesting or requesting?
Then they can make a motion to accept the increase pursuant to the notice to voters.
I guess if that's what you have to have, then, okay, if I'm not gonna volunteer it.
I agree with you. I mean, I hope they have more than one bidder.
Right,
I can't see it, you know, like, what, without either trying again or pay 275. We make a motion to accept 275.
about 250. You said 250.
I said 250, that's what I think.
Said to take the 250.
We make 250 this year, are you okay with that? I make a motion,
I'll second that.
Motion from Steve and a second from Rob to approve the farm bid of 250. Pursuant to, you said the bid. The original farm bid, just so we have it correct. on
Yes.
record. Okay. All those in favor of the motion and seconds, state aye. Aye. Okay, so then. I'm gonna pass that back to you, I'm asking you to go. You need anything else from us for that? Alright. Opening of bids for the reassessment at 850. I apologize. You want water open? No. I don't know, I think it's still out through it.
Yes.
Just open it, it's the other one. It just doesn't, I don't know, there's nothing. Okay. Do you wanna come up and make sure that everything's,
He had the bid specs. I mean,
Okay.
So everything that was required should be in there.
Okay.
We would have the chance to review the contract and make sure everything's good.
and this is just one?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is from AV Solutions. Alarm Solutions, sorry, I didn't wanna. And this is the only bid for this, and it is in the amount of $327,600 even. 327,600 even. And this is the only bid for the Newton County reassessment program. You can walk us, like, just
So
as far as what it is.
yeah.
They just table it for you to review.
Yeah, I want them to be able to, and myself.
So Avalorem has done our reassessment for years. I think there's only ever been one time that anyone else ever even tried to bid. But this is a 4-year cyclical reassessment that is required by the state. Jay and his team has always done our commercial industrial stuff because we have some weird things like the dairy and the landfill and quarry. This one is a little more. It's the residential side also, which for years they did, the last 2 cycles, we have done it, 2 cycles, we did it ourselves. 1.5, yeah, he's been helping us out since we lost our field deputy 2 years ago, whatever it was. But basically, he's been doing it under the other contract for us, so this is just putting it all into the contract that's required for this year for the next 4.
So we just need a motion to take it under advisement, correct? Motion from Stephen, second from Rob to take the reassessment bids under advisement. All those in favor say aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Put this back in here. And this goes back to you.
Yeah, she'll have to review it, you know, we hold on to them. We're supposed to have a copy of them.
If you want to take, file this.
Yeah.
Right.
I just have to get some.
Everybody left off.
Yeah.
You want to come back that you used. Jeremy is not here. As we know, his last date is the 7th, which is Friday. Working and trying to get an interim, I think. We have one with a name. That is willing to pop out in the interim. You wanna? Well, Tammy needs to know as far as, so we have. One of our longtime paramedics who's not part-time, full-time, Mark Humpner is going to be helping us out in the interim. So I would. Like a listen to. Put Mark in. I would say as soon as possible, so we can start getting phone calls effective immediately. So I have a motion from Stephen, a second from Rob to name. Paramedic Mark Humpner. As our interim EMS director. Effective immediately. And. Probably the easiest is to follow the. Salary ordinance that's in place for a paramedic craft. That's what you guys vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And then we do have to just go over the inventory list of what needs to be returned and then what will be. Passed on to him. And, yeah.
The job is posted there, correct?
Yes, the job is posted. Yes, but didn't follow, didn't have the first credential that we require in the job description, so. So we're gonna keep trudging along and we'll get it to go. Karen?
Alls I have really is just, posting for our open labor position is, it's coming out, and there was a little bit of delay, but we're in the go for that, and I do already have a couple applications, so we can take them through.
Good, anyway, that's all I have. All right, thank you.
Can I give you a road use agreement to look at? Did you look at that?
Yes, I did, and I actually, if we could set up a time that maybe we could sit down and go over that, I have some questions.
Absolutely, I'll get hold of you.
Okay, perfect.
IT. Mark? Okay. Cheyenne?
Yeah, we're just playing phone tag with the new rep so we can set up a time to.
There's another one?
Well, no.
Oh, okay,
The
okay.
newest one-
Wait a minute.
the newest one is still there, but yeah, we're playing phone tag, so as soon as I get that set up on it, guys know. Just a quick update, you guys. I'll shoot some.
I just want to update you guys of what we've been doing in our office. It's been a busy fall and we're really grateful for the good weather, and it seems like everyone's been able to get out in the field and get a lot done this harvest. So with that, we've been up to a couple different outreach events. Just this past week, we were at Fair Oaks. If you guys are unaware, Indiana hosted the National FFA Convention, which was a really big deal down in Indianapolis. So schools from all over the country came through Newton County and into Fair Oaks on their way back and forth between Indianapolis. So we saw about 1,000 kids last week. And we taught them about soil health and did soil demos and stuff like that with them. So Purdue Extension and the Conservation Cropping Systems Initiative were our partners on that. And that was a lot of fun. So we did that. We're currently working on a park workshop for our farmers in the county to get their continuing education credits. So that's going to be December 12th. And that will be at the fairgrounds. So everyone who needs credits, we're working on plans for that now and should have the registration info out soon. So Purdue Extension is taking the lead on that. And then we're providing a couple speakers and working on some good food and snacks for that. So park will be coming up. We're working on our grant activities. So we've been meeting with more participants, especially since the weather has been good out in the field. Cover crop seeding has been going well. There's a lot of drone applications this year. So we're out there checking on that stuff and getting applications moving through for our producers in the county. And then we've got various park projects. So if you guys have been around down in Brook, I guess up and over in Brook from here, we've finished the rain garden project. So we redid the rain garden there, and J.R. Yoder came out and he kind of reshaped it for us, and now it looks like a really cool stream that goes into the pond there. So we'll be planting that in the spring, but the dirt work is done and it's pretty cool to see that. And then we've been helping out with the park project in Morocco for the Chris Lacoste Fitness Park and doing some pollinator plantings there and helping out, and that's coming along really nicely. So if you guys need to go get your exercise in, go check it out. It's looking pretty cool. Look at it all, you guys. We all need some exercise. So with that, like I said, we're just kind of working on all kinds of various grant things and field work, and we're kind of a fart in the wind at the moment, but getting it done. Do you guys have any questions for us? Okay, thanks.
Dustin, do you have anything else for us? Oh,
Yeah.
Becky, sorry.
Thank you. I sent you guys an email last night, but it was about 9 o'clock, and I understand that there's some issues with the county email this morning, so I'm not sure if any of you were able to see that. My email was a follow-up with regard to the alert alarm invoice. And this seems to just be an ongoing issue. My understanding of the events that brought us here is that at a previous meeting, you all approved a claim that was submitted by my office for payment of this invoice. And the payment was generated, and then the auditor's office voided that payment, reissued a payment in a lesser amount without giving my office any notice at any point in time until I received a late notice from Alert Alarm on a bill that's in the county's name. This alarm was implemented in the prosecutor's office following a break-in, an attempted arson, or an actual arson maybe, at the Benton County Prosecutor's Office. And the county commissioners who were in office at that time made the decision that Newton County needed to have their prosecutor's office protected. We have people in there whose job it is to enforce the law in ways that sometimes angers people with ill intentions. So it's important, first and foremost, that we keep our people safe and protected. Beyond that, there may be evidence, there may be firearms, there may be records, there are all sorts of things in there that are worth protecting. And it's certainly not ideal that I even have to come to a public meeting that's live streamed and recorded and have this conversation. But this system was not in place in the building prior to the prosecutor's office relocating there. If and when the prosecutor's office ever relocates somewhere else, this system will go with. This system is not needed in the building for any other reason. So this system should be paid for fully by the county. The amount in controversy would be 25% of the bill. The bill is $102 per quarter. So the amount of money that we're talking about here is $25. Yes. $25 per quarter. So $100 a year. And we have spent, I would hate to think how much we've spent in time, attorney fees, and all of our just frustration having to continue to deal with this issue.
I did reach out through an email before it was approved. We print the checks before it happens, and I did ask you about, shouldn't this be the same way that we do the utilities and everything else, because there is a private business also in there. That was done before this was approved.
And yes, that is correct. But what happened next is you told me your position. I told you why I disagreed. You CC'd in all of the commissioners and the county attorney and Jody. And then Commissioner Eilers responded, disagreed with your position, and you short paid that invoice anyway and did not tell me that you were short paying that invoice. I did not know that an auditor had the authority to overrule a decision made by the county commissioners.
It was approved at that time. Yes, I did decrease it. There was conversation, and that's where it lied. So yes.
Yes, that was a change.
I thought so too.
So-
For me, aside.
If I can wait in here. Okay, so when the initial, and again, I'm just gonna kind of back up in this, so. I know when the prosecutor's office was out on 41, yes, there was a split, and that was when. I believe, yeah, Jeff was the prosecutor, I think he moved from over there.
Yep.
And again, I was on council, I wasn't commissioner at the time, so when all of that got broken up as far as who was responsible for what, I know that there was that breakdown.
Mhm.
Now, I will say, when we got that invoice and I was fine with paying it, I again, just personally myself, completely thought it was still going to be the breakdown of we pay a percentage, you know, your office was then responsible for the rest.
Mhm.
So that was my personal understanding. Apologies that I didn't respond to that whole email chain. But again, that's where I'm sorry that it had to come to this, and I don't want this, and I don't want any of that. And I get it's $100, but even going through budgets and speaking with council and like trying to really get laser focused on our spending. with all due respect, it's just nickel and diamond, and I don't, that's where I don't want it to turn into that. So if we can come up with a solution, let's come up with a solution, so we don't have to keep doing this. But again, personally, that's where I didn't think twice about it, because, or think that it was gonna turn into something, because I just personally thought it was still going to be that split. That was originally following what it normally was, so that's just my 2 cents, and that's all I.
See, I mean, my feeling is that if she was just a personal attorney, like with her own law, she would not need this system, but
Correct.
it's only there.
And I understand.
So.
And I understand
It's
that,
$100, I just feel.
but I think the argument, and again, all due respect, it came before. Because that agreement and that, and I don't want to say argument, I think that agreement came when. Prosecutor Drinsky, and that whole split, and again, I don't know the whole details, but I know that that was the compromise that was made. Because there was still a personal business and there was still a prosecutor.
And that took effect as of January 1st of this year, when the prosecutor's office relocated over to here. Prior to that, the prosecutor's office had been out on 41, and the only thing that was there was the prosecutor's office. So when it came over here, we started splitting. The rent stayed the exact same dollar amount that it always had been. We prorated the amount of things like the NIPSCO bill, the water bill, those kind of things. We split those. And it's a percentage based on square footage, and it's slightly rounded in the county's favor. Just to make the math easy. Then, so in January, the move of the system from one office to the other did not change the amount of the bill in any way. This was not an issue for the first 2 quarters of the year, and then the third bill of the year comes, and then this question gets asked. So I thought that we had this worked out. And like I said, you know, we kind of talked about it in an email thread, and I thought that the question was answered. I thought it was resolved at the point where you answered and then nobody else replied. So I thought this was done, and I was just very blindsided to get a late bill.
I only had one response. That was, and that's why I said I would just have to, I did say that the majority vote, I said I just have to circle back to the commissioners. That's all I said.
But I guess I didn't understand why it took a majority of the commissioners to stand behind their decision. Why didn't it take a majority of the commissioners to overrule their decision in the first place?
You're right. I just questioned it, so if you want.
Okay, and again, complete apologies, because like I said, I know prior and where we were before, and anything that was coming out of prosecutor's office or questions or anything like that, I apologize if that was something that.
So we already have it in place,
Right.
the
and-
percentage and the split, so
Right.
it needs to be taken care of. The percentage of
Okay.
the split needs to be taken care
Well,
of.
so we're all on the same page then, when it comes to this specific company, alarm, everything, we are the ones that pay that bill.
When it was, yes, my understanding, because when they changed, we've been splitting the bills. Prior to this, it was just strictly prosecutor. So I did not catch the first 2 quarters. I actually caught when this bill come through and I was questioning, that's when the emails went out. I don't know if I answered your question, so.
I think it's mostly just communication, what it done. Okay.
Well, I'm.
Right.
I just want to understand where we are. So from my perspective, as far as the utilities, the water, the NIPSCO, all those things should continue to be split as they have been being split all year. From my perspective, the only issue that is in question is the alert alarm bill. Are we all on the same page that far?
I think we should just pay, and you just do it if you say something.
Right.
Right.
It is our property that we're. I mean, in your personal office, you have an alarm system to protect evidence.
Yeah, done.
I guess that's, my point is, it is our property, it's not. Yeah, the law, it's property.
Right. And that's my position as well.
You disagree, talk about it.
I guess, I mean, I guess I circle back, I mean. Why is that not in your budget?
It is. It is. This is out, we pay for this as we have for,
It's out of. the
At least a
prosecutor's budget,
decade.
Not the.
And
the
it's-
law firm's portion.
right, it's paid out of,
Oh,
So there's a private business of 25%.
right,
And the majority has, or is roughly, so.
so,
I'm
No.
not one in the room, so don't take anything I say as you say.
so.
that was-
no, while Jeff was in office, the county paid this bill 100% because there was no other. And there was no question about that because there was no other business being operated out of the same building. So there would be no reason why it would have been different then. I understand that now relocating the office has brought this up as a question. And I think it's very reasonable that we have this conversation, but I do think that the county should be responsible for this because were it not for the prosecutor's office being there, this system wouldn't exist in this building.
And why do I have it in my mind that when it moved from here out there, that there was split with something, or again, like I said, I'm completely dumb, so. It's
Now,
fine.
if you were ever looking like at the rent and stuff, it's always paid out of 3 different funds. That's what, if you're looking. So she divides it amongst.
Okay, yes, because we split out of different funds because we pay for our rent and most of our bills out of a combination of diversion user fees, deferral user fees, and 4D fees.
And I
So
believe the lawn system was out of diversion fees.
I think that's correct. So it does come out of a user fee.
It's basically, it's coming out of prosecutor's office, just.
Mhm.
All.
Mhm.
I just make a motion, which is all of it. But.
Out of the prosecutor's budget.
Budget, yeah, percent of the bond, because it's. Only benefit the class, you can vote on this.
I agree with that. I make a motion, please. I'll second that motion.
I moved it from Steve and second from Rob for the alarm. To come out of the prosecutor's budget. All those in favor say aye.
Can you make a motion that I go ahead and pay the difference and it can be paid today?
I'll make a motion for Tammy to go ahead and pay the difference in that bill and it's effective today. Thank you. Second.
Motion from Rob, second from Steve. To pay the remaining portion of that bill. To get it caught up. All those in favor say aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Well. New business, snow removal, consulting. I know you guys, you've been working on that. We have that.
I forgot. the short one. Because I don't know. Is this an old notice?
No, we never had one.
So
We just copied kind of from the mowing and
The
stuff,
mowing.
so that's why it's highlighted. We haven't put the dates in.
Okay.
Yeah, the highlighted parts will be changed.
Okay. So Sharon and Jody, thank you so much for working on these and any marks input, but we need to get. Yeah, we need to get this cleaned up and put out to bid because. I think that one for snows we can somewhere.
Monday.
Yeah, I know, so, I guess my biggest question is with any of the changes. Can we make a motion and vote to get this, advertised? Yeah, contingent on just the needs changes.
The problem is between now and then to advertise in the newspaper, I'm not gonna get 2 full weeks. But I don't know then if we take the option, putting it on Facebook, because it'll be 2 weeks to the next meeting.
Did we have access to Facebook? No. Sharon, do you have anything Facebook related on? Yeah, those. We can put it on our website. What about the website?
I mean, we can, I know the assessor has one, the treasurer, but like, we can share it.
Okay.
Not that it's assessor related or treasurer related or. The problem with
everybody's looking at my page.
well, then we can put it on, the website.
Yeah. Does that account for something?
Yeah, it's not
Um,
post it, post it like that, and use the post office.
Because otherwise, we would have to hold a special meeting, which that would be what, the day or two after.
Because the newspaper doesn't get to people till Thursday or Friday. Because it won't go in until next week's paper.
How is that our fault though? Like, I don't understand, we used to have what,
But it's how you guys. do your
daily,
meetings.
yeah. Well, before it just. Cause we could get it in an everyday paper or an every pseudo. And now it's just every week. Anyway, besides the point, alright, then I will make a motion to approve the notice to bidder for the county-owned properties. 2025. Winter maintenance of parking lots. Contingent on correcting the dates. The bid opening. And I believe
It'll be the location, whatever date you guys leave it.
and location, or whatever date we need to make for the bid. That's my motion. Motion to be second from Steve.
So discussion.
Discussion.
Indiana code says it has to be published in a newspaper of general circulation. I don't think posted on our websites, maybe some issue.
Okay.
We can hit Jim on hurry. And then run daily. Or we could put ours and then do the journal hurry.
Whatever, yeah, I mean, wherever we can advertise and whatever platforms that are acceptable or however we can get it out. And then if it does come. And if it does come to our attention that we have to have a special meeting, we just know. Special meeting. All those in favor? Aye. Do you have an idea of when this should? Like how, I guess that's my only thing, cause you guys in the like maintenance and in highway, you just kind of play it by ear. You know what I mean? Like a big snow hits and then you go out and start doing that, so. What would your suggestion be as far as? Putting exact dates and.
Like an on-call type of thing. Just because we never know what Mother Nature's gonna do. Now, most of these places, they're closed on the weekends, so you wouldn't need them on the weekends, like when we're out and about. Although the Generation Center, I think they do have things going on Saturdays, so that location will probably need it on the weekends. And sheriff's departments, and the
Ambulance.
ambulance. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna be working on that as far as that goes, just because again, then what we're, you know. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Most of them will probably put in something like the logging.
Right, right. I just wanna make sure that if we. I would assume that we would probably hit for like the. Closest date here in November to. Whenever we can, I just, an end date on there, I don't know, but then again, I guess we can revisit that if it ends up being, you know. Yeah. Season. I'm not gonna jinx it.
Do you want us to have the bids to be open November 19th, if we can get it in the Journal Courier for 2 weeks in Enterprise, so all this will be done. The bids will be due to us on the 18th and to open on the 19th.
And again, if we find that we can't do that, then we'll just have to hold a special meeting. Other matters.
Yeah, it's just sense. Yeah, caution. For agenda. With Marvella, with the letter of commitment. When did we have that? Against the 5% spring.
I just need to email it to all of yours,
Thank you.
because it can't be discussed until council meeting in 2 weeks.
Okay, I'm just worried about the time.
No, what's that?
Thank you.
Sorry, I should have mentioned earlier, but I sent out emails to a lot of the department heads and stuff. As far as our multi-hazard mitigation plan and stuff. If anybody didn't get that invite, wants to be part of it, let me know, I'll send you the invite for the meeting. But it's November 19th at 6 p.m. at the Government Center. If everybody who has received that invite, if they can, please reply to that, so. You'll get it. Time and stuff, so. The more involvement we have, the smoother it'll go through this stuff, so, thank you.
Yeah. Or was it something we could talk about?
Else, we do have one thing, real quick. Alma will be here tomorrow. And there's gonna be, I was gonna go out. She has open enrollment packets. She will be at the Government Center from 9 to noon, and then here at the courthouse from 1 to 4. We have actually sent out some emails to some employees that have used like the Anthem insurance, but hasn't set up with ISOL, because we're getting pretty close to end of the year, so we make sure you're getting your reimbursements, but everything is still the same, but she will have packets again, and then we'll have them if you can't attend, but that is set up for any questions for the employees that have insurance, so. And the clinic is doing flu shots also, if you have county insurance, if not, set up with the health department, or CVS can get them done if you have them. But if you're a part-time person and stuff, we recommend just going to the health department, you can still do your shots. Okay, anybody else? Motion to adjourn?
So.
All in favor?
You could be. Good.